Hey, we've got some news about Anthrax and John Bush. What's going on? Stick around. Welcome back to Package Rebellion. I am Lumber Squatch. I gotta apologize for the kind of clicky baity intro there about Anthrax and John Bush news. Um, wasn't really meant to come out that way, but it did, and I decided to stick with it because I think clickbaity stuff is the way to go, right? With YouTube and whatnot, clickbait. That's how people get views. Um, so it came out in an interview John Bush is doing for the new Armored Saint album, Punch the Sky, that he's thinking about doing a tour in 2023. Yes, 2023, 2 years from now. It'll be like a solo Anthrax tour. And he's possibly going to take Paul Crook, who played on, I believe, two Anthrax albums, which would be Stomp 442 and Volume 8, The Threat is Real. Yeah, so he might do a tour, and the tour will consist of material from two albums, which will be celebrating the 30th and 20th anniversary, respectively. The first one being Sound of White Noise, which was the first Anthrax album that John Bush sang on, and also We've Come For You All, which would be celebrating the 20th anniversary, and would be the final Anthrax album that John Bush sang on. Now, John Bush is one of a long line of former Anthrax singers. So let's do a quick history of all of the previous singers. Shan't we? Shan't we? Shall we? Whatever. Let's do it. You've got John Connolly, Dirk Kennedy, Jason Rosenfeld, Tommy Wise, Neil Turbin, Joey Belladonna, John Bush, Joey Belladonna again, Dan Nelson, John Bush again, and finally Joey Belladonna for lucky number 3, his third time as a lead singer of Anthrax. Now, I'm sure it's quite possible I might have missed a lead singer or two here and there in that list, but for one band, that's a pretty long list. Now, if you don't know or you haven't noticed, I kind of have a thing for Anthrax. Package Rebellion, the name of the YouTube channel, my Instagram. Basically, after the song by Anthrax, Package Rebellion, I probably have the most band shirts that are Anthrax. I've just been a huge fan of everything Anthrax, except for Fistful of Metal. Not my cup of tea. Didn't really enjoy it. It's solid. It's a solid, good album, but not one that I've listened to in a very long time. I am a huge fan of both Belladonna's work and John Bush's work. Bush's work is, you either lovingly say it or you say it in a spiteful manner. It's like Bush Thrax. And when I saw this article, it's on Aeon Music out of the United Kingdom, the UK. The cool kids call it. My first thought was they are ditching Belladonna again and bringing Bush in to do a special tour. Because, and I think I mentioned this on the previous episode I did where I showcased the 30th anniversary State of Euphoria release. I'm sorry, Persistence of Time. State of Euphoria was last year. And I was wondering, well, okay, so they re-released all the Belladonna stuff up to this point on their anniversary. What are they going to do for Sound of White Noise? Well, again, I saw the article. I'm thinking they're going to do it. They're going to somehow screw this up. And you know what? They still have 2 years to do that. if there's anybody who can screw something up, it's pretty much Anthrax. But I'll still be there for it. I will, admittedly. Um, so I think that there's going to be a 30th anniversary reissue of Sound of White Noise in some way, shape, or form. And as John Bush said, he's probably going to go out on his own, but I would not be surprised if Anthrax and John Bush didn't get together and do some sort of mini tour. And you know, then that casts poor Joey Belladonna aside. Now, I think it was back in 2000, when was it? Mid 2000s, maybe 2005. I want to say. I'm daydreaming. I'm staring off into the distance, trying to focus my brain. There was going to be that split tour with Belladonna and Bush singing their songs respectively, each from their Anthrax era. Never panned out. They both did sing on the one song, Ball of Confusion, right? You'll correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going by my memory. And 47 years of it is just a mess. But as of right now, it appears that John Bush wants to do this. And I kind of hope he does because, man, I really connected a lot with the Bush era, Bush Thrax, Anthrax. Especially his last album, We've Come For You All, which I thought was easily one of the best Anthrax albums ever put out. It featured Rob Caggiano on second guitar because Dan Spitz left back in right after Sound of White Noise, and then they had Paul Crook come in, do some work. But everything about that album, it was just heavy. You had guest appearances by Dimebag Darrell, and Roger Daltrey of The Who was on there. And Charlie Benante's drumming was off the charts on that album. It was insane. I can't say it was a return to form for Anthrax. I don't think Anthrax ever went away, even with Stomp 442 and Volume 8, The Threat Is Real. But it was just a great, straightforward, heavy rock, heavy metal album, thrash. It had elements everywhere. And then of course they came in, more stuff happened, and Dan Nelson came in, sang for like 5 minutes, and then now they got Joey Belladonna back and released another 2 awesome albums with Worship Music and For All Kings. Especially For All Kings. Blood Eagle Wings is an awesome song. Okay, that's neither here nor there. I'm getting off track. Now, going back to Sound of White Noise, that was like night and day for Anthrax because you had Belladonna, who was like, I'm not very good with musical terms, but maybe he was higher pitched than John Bush. They were coming off the Persistence of Time album, which was really kind of a darker, less humorous side of Anthrax. And Sound of White Noise kind of continued on that darker route, but it also had the darkness and it had more of a grunge feel because of their producer, who produced Alice in Chains, and I can't think of the other one. Oh my God, Perry Farrell. Oh my God, Jane's Addiction. Oh, there we go. He produced Sound of White Noise. I think his last name is Jordan. I want to say Dave Jordan. And Bush's vocals were in stark contrast to that of Belladonna. But it still made for an awesome album. It had their first kind of true ballad with Black Lodge, which is a super dark song. But all in all, for me, I just remember putting it into the cassette. That's what we had, to the car and listening to it. And I was like, with a new singer, sometimes bands are it's like, eh. But I was like, I'm all in. Okay, I like you, Belladonna, but I'm all in on this John Bush stuff. I'm here for it. And it's weird because I didn't like John Bush in Armored Saint. Sorry. And to an extent, I'm still not that big of an Armored Saint fan. But sometimes, two bands get together and magic happens. What would have been weird because I believe John Bush also, way back when, he auditioned to be the vocalist of Metallica. That would be super interesting to hear. But again, neither here nor there. So let's say John Bush actually does this, goes out on his solo Anthrax tour 2023. What songs would you like to hear from Sound of White Noise and from We've Come For You All? I've got 10 songs lined up that I'd like to hear. I've got 5 from Sound of White Noise, and I've got 5 from We've Come For You All. So I'm going to go over that, and in the meantime, drop your set list down below in the comments. Maybe it's not 10 songs, maybe it's 12, 15, I don't know. Let me know. In the meantime, here's my set list. Okay, so starting off with my 5 from Sound of White Noise, I've got Potter's Field, I've got Only, I've got Room for One More, Black Lodge, and of course, Package Rebellion. That was pretty obvious, wasn't it? I definitely would like to hear Black Lodge. From reading what John Bush said, they never really played that much live, if at all, during his era, his time in Anthrax. So I really think that that would be a cool song to hear live. Now, on to my 5 from We've Come For You All. Right, my 5 from We've Come For You All. I'm going with What Doesn't Die. I'm going with Safe Home. I'm going with Think About an End. I'm going to cheat a little bit here and say Any Place But Here and Nobody Knows Anything, because songs really, there's no break. They just kind of go into one another. And Charlie's drumming on Nobody Knows Anything, sick, over the top. Beautiful. What would I do for the last song? Cadillac Rockbox. How could you forget Cadillac Rockbox? It has such a sick groove in it. It's an awesome song, and I think it's one of the songs. Maybe it's the only song that Dimebag Darrell played on the album. But yeah, I mean that is just kind of sick killer groove throughout the whole thing, and it's super heavy. So there you have it. Well, maybe it's not 5, it's 6. I cheated a little, but my video I can do that. Anyway. Drop your set list below. Let us know what you would like to hear, whether it be, doesn't have to be 5 from one, 5 from the other. It could be 9 from one, 1 from another. It could be 15 songs. It could be both albums, which would be really cool. Take up a lot of time. Don't think you would do that. Also, do you think that Anthrax would somehow get involved in that? Could you see a co-headlining tour with Armored Saint and Anthrax where there would be like a middle set? Where Bush would come out and sing with Anthrax? Possibility. I just thought of that. That's how my brain is working. So anyway, that's it for now. I'm Lumber Squatch. This has been Package Rebellion. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.